I'm going to demonstrate with the help of my dear sisters the recipe that I found years ago in our local newspaper. It was printed in the Contra Costa Times in Walnut Creek, California in 1976. It was a contest winner of a recipe, and I have been using it ever since. I dearly love this recipe for its versatility. Before we mix the batter, I'll tell you that to a basic batter, you put 2 cups of A to Z, and you can do anything in any combination that you wish. That's why it's kind of fun, because it's up to you as to what kind of a nut or fruit bread or nut fruit bread that you are going to create. So it depends on what you've got on hand. My very favorite of all the possibilities is pear bread. It's delicious. And we have some other examples of things you could use. Craisins, you could use bananas. I'm going to use with my pumpkin today freeze-dried pineapple. And we have apple slices, blueberries, and peanut butter chips, along with shredded zucchini. A lot of this is freeze-dried, and I'll show you as we go along how we're using the freeze-dried products. But you can use pretty much anything, including milk chocolate chips, cinnamon chips, white chocolate chips, whatever you feel like. It's virtually any nut. All you have to remember is, with a few exceptions where you just use the smaller, and it says on the recipe if there's a warning, with few exceptions, all you're figuring for your recipe is 2 cups of anything in any combination. So for the simple batter,
I have a question before you
yes.
go on. So you could use like just chopped up fresh apple?
Yes, fresh
Could you
fruit's
use
lovely.
bananas?
Yes,
It wouldn't
yes.
turn funny color or anything.
No, and I was thinking bananas with those, when the peanut butter chips, peanut butter chips and banana would be really good. Anything in any combination that you like, freeze-dried, canned, or fresh. You can use canned peaches chopped up, fresh peaches chopped up, whatever you have a mind to. This makes it a really fun recipe. Did I tell you the lady that came up with this recipe? Her name was Hazel Gentry. I have never met her, but I've thanked her mentally many times, because this is a recipe that is foolproof. It doesn't ever disappoint. The other reason I like this recipe is because it's good for breakfast. If you bake it in a thinner pan, it can be a snack cake. It's good for any occasion all day long. When we used to go camping, I'd like to have 2 loaves in our family's case of A to Z bread with hard-boiled eggs and a glass of milk. That is a very well-balanced breakfast.
Not in the bread, the hard-boiled egg.
No.
Okay.
You serve the bread and the milk with the hard-boiled egg.
Sorry, my mind is still on the bread.
Now, well, I guess if you want to try chopped hard-boiled eggs, as long as it's not more than 2 cups, you're okay.
And make sure you take the shell off.
We are assuming everyone knows basic cooking. So, I'm making a double batch. It's huge, but I'll tell you what a single batch is as I'm putting it in. I already have measured in. You just put it all in the bowl and mix it. There's no creaming or anything. It's just a great, simple recipe. So you're putting in 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of sugar. Now you know this is a double batch, so I'm not doing exactly what I'm saying. And you put in a cup of either vegetable oil or butter. I like to use olive oil for health choices. And then you put a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of baking soda. You also put a teaspoon. Are you going to be okay with cinnamon in all of the?
I am.
You're supposed to put in the basic recipe a teaspoon of cinnamon, but you can leave it out if you are making a choice that it wouldn't make any sense with.
Okay.
Okay, so in goes the cinnamon. then it's 1 teaspoon, oh no, it's a tablespoon of vanilla. I am going to guess. My days of measuring the vanilla are over. I figure unless you put a half a bottle in, it's hard to overdo the vanilla. So I have all of these ingredients in. We will we'll mix it up, then we'll divide it into bowls and be right back to show you the choices. Or let's tell them the choices before we put the batter in. Joanne, let's start with you.
Well, I kind of traditional. So I have the cinnamon chips, and I mix the milk chocolate chips with the pecans.
Okay, in mine I have blueberries in one bowl, and then a combination of strawberries and mangoes in mine.
She's using freeze-dried fruit. So for this blueberries, she's added lemon juice. About how much lemon juice, Bonnie?
A quarter of a cup lemon juice, a fourth of a cup.
So we all know how to break eggs, and so I'm probably going to do it wrong. I've heard that it's best to break the egg on the counter, and that's nice, but it's a little hard for me to control. So I'm just going to hit the top of the mixing bowl the way I always do. So 3 large eggs. So as I said, we have got everything in here except for the A to Z. We'll divide it into the different bowls so that we can try several different kinds. Bonnie, did you show your second flavor while I was getting the lid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we've got our eggs. We'll just toss that in.
It took 4 eggs?
Well, she got
3. Okay.
Oh, it's a good thing I have my sisters here. I'm doing a double batch, so it really takes 6 eggs.
And you did 3 so far, right?
Yeah. So I'm telling you it's a single batch, but really it's a double batch. I'm making so much also to show you that if you have a lot of something, say grated zucchini that you want to use up, then this is a great way to get it ready and in the freezer. It's very handy when you're hungry to have this nut bread or this A to Z bread just ready to go. Sorry, wasn't on. Okay, that's right now. So we'll turn the camera off and get back to you when we've got our divided batter. To illustrate how versatile this dough is that we now have that we're flavoring different ways is I have a half-size bundt pan that I'm going to put my choice in. I'm only going to make one, and I wanted to have them make as many choices as they wanted, so they have 2 each. So mine, I'm spraying this bundt pan heavily first. Don't forget to prepare your pan. And then I want to make a pumpkin version, and I'm using, I have a freeze dryer, and I wanted to do this for a while. The problem with making pumpkin anything is that it is hard to decide what to do with the rest of the can. So I have in here some freeze-dried pumpkin, and I'm reconstituting it so that you can see just how easy it is to get just the amount of pumpkin puree that you want to use in a given recipe. So I didn't do it off camera because I wanted you to see that it really only takes just a few minutes. And my rule of thumb for reconstituting, because there are all kinds of variables, is if it looks like pumpkin puree, you've got the right amount of liquid in. So I'm going to put my pumpkin in here, and then because I just have the room, I'm going to put cinnamon chips and freeze-dried zucchini. So it's going to be a zucchini pumpkin bread, and I don't even have to reconstitute the zucchini because it's grated and ready to throw in. And then my third thing is the pecans right here. And I like large pieces of pecans, so forgive me Well, I snap each one of these in half because I like them big. I could chop them. We've shown on camera before that if you use one of those choppers with the large dice, it's very easy to chop nuts with that. But for today's purposes, I'm just breaking them in half by hand. So you can see how much fun it is to just put what you feel like in this literally A to Z bread. While I'm doing my pecans, Bonnie, why don't you talk about yours and we'll go back across in order.
So this is the blueberry with lemon juice in the mix here.
And remember the size that they're using a half a cup of A to Z.
So that's per loaf. You can figure that.
If you're using the same thing in the whole batch, you have up to 2 cups of A to Z.
Pretty color.
And then this is the strawberry mango batter.
It's a little thicker because the other has a little lemon juice.
Right.
Well, that certainly clears the bowl there.
Yeah, that's easier.
So if these don't puff up, if they puff up, they're a little loaf of bread. If they're down lower, like this one may not bake very high, then it's your snack cake.
And I'm doing that.
This is the strawberry mango.
And I'm doing the chocolate chip pecan. I know I'll like it. I like chocolate chip pecan pancakes.
Looks like Congo bar.
Yeah, it does. I'm not going to worry about having a different spoon because a little chocolate chip and cinnamon's not going to
Heard anything?
No.
Our scrapers are all in the other room out of camera range, so we're improvising.
Here's the cinnamon in the red, and then the chocolate chips and pecan.
Okay, so I need to blend my, and I will put my batter in this bundt cake. This will be the pumpkin zucchini with pecans, and we will be back to show you our finished product.
So I chose for my A to Z bread blueberry with lemon juice. And we'll cut that.
That looks nice.
So this had a little bit of a difficult time cutting and staying together. And I believe it was the lemon juice that did that. So probably if I were to do it again, I would use lemon zest.
I don't know, the flavors are really good.
And it doesn't look purple. It looked
No.
purple in the batter,
It did.
but it doesn't look purple.
That is
baked up.
surprising. Okay, let's try your second one here. And what kind was this again?
Let's see, that was
Mango.
Yeah, mango and strawberry.
The texture is a little different on
Yes,
this one.
that's much easier to slice.
Our cameraman will have to wait. It's good too.
I like the mango, but I can't tell the strawberry.
I can
I
either.
think mine might not have been in my piece.
We were afraid. I can see it at the end of the loaf. I can see strawberry bits.
Yeah, she's got a little one.
Let's cut it again to see if we can get to the strawberry. So the idea would probably be add more strawberry if you're,
Yeah, see,
and
there's some
not to be
pieces
afraid of it
strawberry.
being in big chunks either.
I wonder if you could reconstitute, well, that's not the word, but
Yes.
okay, the mangoes are a little hard, at least the one I.
Oh, you didn't reconstitute those?
No.
They're just, okay.
So the two breads that I used had freeze-dried strawberries. And one of them had freeze-dried strawberries with the mango, and the other one had freeze-dried blueberries is what we used.
And the mango was free-dried.
And the
also.
mango was too.
Okay, I have this. No, I'm going to do the cinnamon chip. It's actually very hard to see the difference between the cinnamon chips and the chocolate chips.
Oh.
It's just that I knew I put pecans with the chocolate. so
Well, that's a little warning about cinnamon chips. Remember where you put them.
yeah. And there is some cinnamon in the batter, so
That is really good.
It's really good.
That's all that's the only thing? You only added C? We've thought of a few other suggestions.
That's my favorite.
And with this recipe, the cool thing is you just have to remember not to put more than 2 cups of anything. And you could probably try just about anything that you like, that you wish. I'm thinking that coconut extract with a little coconut in it would be really good.
yeah, I've had coconut bread before.
And then maybe
It's really good.
put a little coconut sugar on top just for crunch.
I've never tried coconut sugar in any form.
Well,
in
this is the
anything.
dish to try things you haven't tried before. The other thing about this particular recipe is the batter is delicious. It's a good combination relationship of all the baking ingredients, and it just turns out a great bread no matter what you put in it. Some things you have to be careful not to put too much of, and those are noted in the A to Z ingredients.
Like xylophone.
We aren't going to do a xylophone. Oh, Bonnie said we will list extra sugar or extra brown sugar.
Well, really like the pecans in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not tasting the chocolate that strongly.
I'm thinking you'd have to put extra chocolate chips in. I would say, except for excessive use of an ingredient, the best part was if you like more pecans, put more pecans in. It's your bread.
Here we're using the mini cinnamon chips and the mini chocolate chips.
These are mini milk chocolate chips,
Mini milk chocolate chips.
which makes it a little milder, and you probably would. I don't see any reason why you couldn't try dark chocolate if you're a dark chocolate fan.
If your husband would eat dark chocolate.
If you're a fan, you could make. Dividing the batter up like we did, it is kind of fun. And you can see we used loaf pans, and that just made it more like a snack cake. That's all right. So we have one more to try, and that is, well, why don't you do that one too?
Sure.
And that is pumpkin, zucchini, cinnamon chip,
Oh, you put
and a
cinnamon
few
chips in it, too.
pecans.
Oh,
Yes. Again, when I said the problem with all the wonderful products there are that use pumpkin puree is what do you do with the rest of the can if you don't want to have pumpkin everything for a week or so using up your can. And that's the advantage of freeze-dried pumpkin, is that you can just stir it up. And remember I said if it looks like pumpkin puree, then you've added the right amount of water. There's no point in measuring it because it's not that necessary. So you're going by your memory of what pumpkin puree looks like. And then if you need an exact measurement, then go ahead and measure and make sure you've got the right amount. But guessing works really well. I've been working with pumpkin, freeze-dried pumpkin for about 6 months, and I haven't had a fail. I hope. How does it taste?
It's good. I think it could have a stronger pumpkin.
Yes.
It could have a little stronger, but it's got the best texture of all of them.
Yeah.
And it tastes good. It's just not as strong. I think it could take a little more pumpkin.
Okay, that's.
What do you think?
So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree
but
with that.
same thing, it's not pumpkin-y enough.
But it's very good.
And the zucchini works very well in there. And you know, that was no effort to throw freeze-dried
Yeah.
zucchini shreds right in there.